Hello, world. Hello, everybody. So, it's a Sunday day, the day before adult day in my life at the moment. So, anyway, I'm fixing to figure out, you know how I get. Got to get going. Um, Thoughts came to me sitting around this and that, and then I'm going through some things that I have to go review my life and times because dates are important that must be recorded officially now, that kind of thing. And goofy things like that. And I'm handling that. And then sitting there thinking about things, and I go, oh, that was like when Star Trek was going, and like early, I saw Star Trek when it was new, right? That kind of thing. And I go, then my mind came to Spock. And Spock was the real man. He kind of, if it wasn't for Spock, right? So they did that right, and then the cavaliering captain, and yeah, what a thing. And Spock, boy, logical. I mean, I emulated the guy. I patterned myself right down to it. Mr. Spock. It's so impressive, because that was a young age, and you're looking at Spock, and he was like, and I'm kind of an academician that was on the ocean floor kind of thing, yeah. So he really, really impressed me, and I did take heart really, really deeply with his character, that kind of thing. And so I patterned my life and mindset to that end. And then I'd grown up some, and a couple of books, things, exposures to reality. Not I've been exposed to plenty of reality, but then um, how would I put it? Relax, bro. You're getting testy in your chair. Um, Things the way of figuring it. Just the reality. Y'all know how I get. The reality is it's daytime because the sun's out. When it's not daytime. It's night time. Anyway, that kind of hack whack. Another thing, character later in my life on the TV shows, right? Because I really get a lot, I can pick and choose real good at to what would be beneficial for me to be like from these shows. The next one is House, the Doctor Show, right? I haven't only maybe 4 or 5, 7 episodes of it, here's and there's of it, and I'm making no money on this and that. I'm not affiliating, not just, this is what impressed me on scenes from this series of shows. The one thing, they were up in the doctor's council room. Big desk is sitting around, and he's down at, like professor, like talking to his doctors, going, okay, well, why did this boy die? And he meant that. And they better come up with why that boy died. Like, they ain't no, oh my God, oh goodness gracious, right? Just, this is where I learned the word clinical, right? Clinical. Why did the boy die? We must answer this question. No, so I'm like, man, that's down to the ground. And me having all the kids, all this and that, I was middle of bearing them, so I really bit into that, and that's another way I am, and that's 4 minutes of being explained to you. And the one last thing that impressed me to no end, no question, no doubt. Well, two things, and I will mention them very quickly, and everyone can picture why I would mention them. All highway patrols, okay? That we just leave, yeah, thank you, fine young men and women of the highway patrol. and the NTSB. Okay? The NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, can be and is not. No one can doubt on this planet Earth that the NTSB can be corrupted. It cannot. Everyone just, oh, yeah, it's a given, right? That once you say that, oh, well, they'll get to the bottom of that, and then we'll go read the papers and find out what they found out. And we know that's the facts, right? And I've had, man, that's a real grab for me too. And that's, what gives me the makeup of what I'm going to say. And now I'm wondering, because of current events today, there's the memorial we're all aware of, Charlie Kirk memorial, this and that. It made me trip the thought fantastic back to Spock. Right? Spock, Spock was empirical. Captain Kirk didn't even, when Spock said blah, 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 Captain Kirk didn't say, oh, what? Watch all the shows. And even if anyone said, oh, come on, Spock be like, Spock. No one said, oh, no, it ain't, to Spock. And any of the shows at all. Captain Kirk here said, what Spock said, oh, well, that's the way of it, Okay, we'll get our bingies and let's go. Because that was it. Spock was logic, reality. Okay, I got over that. Let me get set back up. I get all excited. Right? So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going, what would Spock say? Or a Vulcan? The theoretical, and they might even exist, right? If they came down and sat in your living room, everybody, think, if Spock was sitting there at the kitchen table and looking and going, oh, well, what would he have to say? He's from another world. He's from somewhere else going, oh, so how do you guys day trip? Right? And the logic and the illogic he would encounter. And now I'm getting back to today's the day, Charlie Kirk, right? And I'm going, you know what you guys did? From what I know of Mr. Kirk, right? He was like Spock, but in a human suit. Right. And now I'm seeing, as a seer, by the way, a trend. The gauges and graphs. Let me see. Oh. Okay. There are these so-called Spocks in human suits showing up. There's two now. Sorry. Dry. Do I have water? Nope. Right. And there's this other fella, a Jewish fella. You all know who I am. I'm heathen. So he's Jew. Yay. Right. That just say simply Spock on people. You know what? And then the brainstorm came to me. You know what? Instead of them guys doing this and that, or yes, them, and then, or if they could incorporate in their efforts, is explain it to Spock. Just as Spock came up, what's going on here? Make it make sense to Spock. He's from another world. What, whoop his ass? From another world. You go, well, I'm here to learn. Where's the logic? Where's the reality? Make it make sense to Spock. And now would I say that you killed Spock? This is what came to my mind and started this avalanche of all this stuff and the idea of getting to where, you know what? What if Spock was standing here? He just, oh, we're just like this, and he's like, that don't make no sense. And I, oh, no, I'm just Spock from another planet. Explain it to Spock would be an interesting aspect of the human experience. Just go up to somehow, somewhere, some way, and sit there and go, okay, Spock, explain it to the man, to the Vulcan, some of the things you want to have in reality. You might make it. If Spock says, that's logical. Boom, daddy, you're in. Oh, Spock said so. I'll beat feet off over there. Right. Now that would do it. And then if he says, that's illogical. Oh, well, that's it. So one way or the other, right? You know, but don't kill Spock. Spock in a human suit. Come on, guys. Right. Explain it to Spock. That's my vision for that. All right. Live by your wits, not by your worries. Peace. Bye. Love all y'all. Okay, bye.